Well, you know, the Colt single-action revolver is probably the most famous of all guns for a variety of reasons, predominantly because of the movies, starting with the B-Western, the original. The very first movie ever made was a Western movie. Well, the romance of the six-gun involved with those movies has exploded far beyond anything that we might have imagined. Samuel Colt would be a very proud man right now if he lived today, because that little miracle that he created is indeed a miracle. I mean, it's caught on to the imagination of millions of people all over the world, not just this country, of the United States. At any rate, the old six-gun is a very beloved gun, make no mistake about it. And it can be handled a lot of different ways. It has to be cocked for every shot. And we've seen them use these guns in many ways. The movie Outlaw Josie Wales, even though he's using a couple of walkers, why, there are things they do with those guns. And we've seen this in other movies where they've taken a situation and they got them at bay. Hands up, hand me your gun, butt first. He takes the gun, he says, well, he actually have it in his holster and say, well, give me the gun, butt first. And he'll take the gun, and he'll do it butt first like this, and they'll take it, and as he starts to hand it to him, he'll flip it around and give it one of these. And if you put that in perspective, he'll start to hand it, and he'll do it, he'll give it one of those. Surprising. He thought he was just going to hand him the butt first. No, he gave it to him muzzle first. You know, now that was one way of doing that. But there are other ways of pulling that same routine. I mean, in the movie Tombstone, there was a situation there where Powers Booth, confronting the sheriff, he said, hand me those guns. Now, what he did is he took the gun in that movie, he handed it to him like this, and he took the gun and gripped it in entirely a different manner like this, a fistful of guns. Hand me those guns. He said, sure. And he wrapped them up like this, and he took it and handed it to him and fired the gun that way. Just like that. He just flipped it upside down and fired it, and of course shot him literally point-blank range. But there's something far more complicated you can do to get the same effect, but it's far more difficult. You probably wouldn't see it in the movie because it is so difficult. How about if you took the gun and just gripped it like this, just like that, by the hammer, like so, and flipped it around. There it is. That's what I'm trying to do for you right there. Now, there's another way even more difficult than that, and that's where you take the gun and lay it on the top of your hand, like so, just like that. Then you take it and flip it and cock it and fire it that way. Now, that's really difficult. Now, if you're going to try this, and you're going to use Grandpappy's Colts, don't be standing on the concrete. You're going to be very upset if you drop that gun and bang on the floor in the process of learning this stuff. And also, don't load the gun in the process, especially with a bullet. Don't be doing that kind of stuff with live ammunition. That's kind of a lot of fun, isn't it? You ever seen that situation where the guy's got the gun on the guy, he's covering the bad guy like that, and he says, well, what about the guy in back of him, man? What are you going to do about him? There's one gun, there's two of us, one in front, one in back, and you go, well, now what? I know what you're saying. Yeah, but you shot back, and that was clever, but it was low. Wait a minute, the guy was hiding under a table. Not paying attention, were you? We got the guy covered, he says, well, there's two of us. Yes, I know. Now there's just me, and my six gun. Roy Rogers would be proud. He really would. Now, a lot of you are saying, you know what, when you handle that gun and fire that gun like that and so on, that gun looks like it operates so easily. It does. But not stock. Now, this is a custom gun. By that I mean I've jumped into this Colt single action, the most beloved of all guns. And I've gone into this gun and built, I do this for a living. It's part of my living. I build single action for people all over the world. And I've been building them for close to 43 years. At any rate, now this gun does, in fact, work very fine and smooth. You know, look at that. I look like I'm sweating the cockpit. Actually, how about your little finger? I mean, I'm barely gripping the gun. That's how fine the gun works. It just works like silk. So at any rate, as you can see, it's not a common gun, is it? No, it's a common gun, but by the standards of all of us, but this gun is set up mechanically superior to any common stock gun. And it's designed for so you can do all these little slick, you can do all that kind of slip throwing you shoot. You couldn't do that with a stock gun, too rigid, too stiff. But then remember, when Samuel Colt built the gun, it was for the cowboy in the U.S. Army, cavalry, and it was designed not to shoot all that mud, but when you needed one, you had a gun on you, and it was dependable. And that's the purpose of the gun. Now, we work these guns like, well, Samuel Colt had no idea we were going to use these guns like we do. So we had to take his wonderful creation and just upgrade it just a touch, and that's what we've done. Jumped into it and set up so it'll hold up for all this wear and tear. Because to shoot this kind of shooting, it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, and thousands and millions of times this gun has to cock. So you can do it perfectly. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get. But the gun's got to withstand all that cocking and shooting, cocking and shooting, cocking and shooting. Very repetitious, constant shooting. We shoot millions of rounds a year. The gun wasn't designed to do that originally. So we had to upgrade it so it would in fact do that and stay together. And be even more dependable than it ever was.
Hello, this is Becky Munden here. With my husband Bob, we're going to do some shooting for you.
And here's exactly what we're going to try to do for you. We're going to take up the clay pigeon first using handguns. We're going to jump up here to the poker chip. Then we're going to tee off on this golf ball. And then if the tee remains, we're going to take that off of there as well. You don't think Becky can do this? You don't think I can do this? Hey, listen, this lady can shoot. You're looking at a past world champion here. Let's give it a try. Impressed? No, this is how my wife do it. And you're not gonna be surprised, are you? If a woman can hit all these things? Ha-ha. Watch this, baby. Now, if you're impressed with that shot, and you should be, Becky did a good job on that. That was a real difficult shot with a handgun. Well, she's now going to come on with a rifle and duplicate a shot that made Annie Oakley famous. I guess you don't know who does the dishes in our house, do you? A little obvious, isn't it? You know, we're going to team up for you right now, do something real special using both the rifle and the shotgun, and we're going to team up on it. Now, we're going to take these empty shotgun shells, and Becky is, first of all, going to hit them with a bullet, kicking them off here. They'll go in the air. I'll chase them down with a shotgun, hit them in flight. What do you think? You think we can do this? This is called team shooting at its best. Man and wife working together. How unusual that sometimes is. Yes! What do you think of that, folks? You think this is strictly a man's game? Get the girls out. Let's have some fun with these guns.